Someone joined us here? Can you hear us? Okay,
Yeah.
huh?
Only 3 of us here with the rabbi, but it's good enough.
Okay, Shalom Aleichem. Yishkar for joining us. Okay, one nilmot k'tzat. Actually, we're in the middle of something. Last week, we started. Let's continue. It's an interesting thing because we spoke about it last week. There's the people that, it's a page, Reish Lamed Zayin, it's Samach Tes, Se'iv Daled. Samach Tes, Se'iv Daled. We spoke about this last week. There is an individual that likes to run in here and say Borchu, and then he wants to make a Hoche Kedusha. And there are people that get upset. They get agitated by it. So, but the truth is that it's a machlokes rishonim. It's not so simple. It's not so simple. It's a machlokes if you're allowed to do it. As we said last time, the minig Sfardim is, and today most in Eretz Yisrael, that they say just one borchu right before Linu. If a person came late, so at least he didn't miss borchu. But they're not going to do a kedusha and a thing. No. That's it. You know what? You came late. We'll do you a favor. We're going to do we'll do borchu for you. We'll do borchu. But if you want the whole 9 yards, next time come in time. But here in Beis Menachem Mendel, there is always this big give and take. There's this tension. So it's interesting halacha to learn. Halacha Dalet. Mishal Shama, Kadesh, Baruchu, Kedusha. He missed all the Dovish of Kedusha. Veroitza Lifres al Shema, and he wants to say Shema. I later Lifnei Ateva, or go down and say Shmones. Afa b'sheish Shom sheish. He has to find at least 6 people that didn't daven yet. The other opinion is no. There's 10 people in the room, it's good enough. You're allowed to be Saimach al Svara Charona, but you shouldn't do it. He doesn't have to do it himself. And the din is that we read in this week's parsha, that the Kol Yisrael arevim zeh bozeh, that we're responsible for each other. So if there's another yid that didn't put on film, it's as if I didn't put on film. So if I meet a person and he didn't put on film, but he doesn't know how to make the bracha, or if I meet another Jew on Rosh Hashanah, he didn't hear shofar. He didn't hear shofar, so I take out the shofar and I blow shofar for him. Guys, we got to send out an email asking people that want to go out to blow this year, especially with our people that are nervous about Corona, and I'm already getting a lot of phone calls. You're going to have someone. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. For shofar. Very good. So like when you go to blow shofar, so sometimes the people that you're going to blow shofar, they can't say the bracha. It's very, because they don't know. I mean, if they knew, they'd be in shul, right? So you're allowed to say the bracha. Why are you allowed to say the bracha? because it's unbelievable idea. I heard shofar. Why I make the bracha? L'shmoya kol shofar. I already heard. I heard in the morning from the shul. If he didn't hear it, as if I didn't hear it. L'chatchila, he should make his own bracha. So if you come to a place and you give them a siddur, say the bracha. But sometimes I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. No, but by a woman it's more acute because I think the thing is like this. The woman is not machuyev in the mitzvah. So I can't make a bracha for her. It's a mitzvah, she's my grandma. She's allowed to make the bracha, and then that's also machloikis. I'm not, but Lepel, she could make her own bracha. Right. כן, זה נוגע. לא, זה נוגע. לא, זה לא. יש מחלוקת, אם מצווה סריחס כוונה, לא. הכי טוב זה לכוון, כן. But later, after lunch, when he goes to blow for his neighbor, shofar. So you really should ask the neighbor, he doesn't know how to blow shofar, so you blow for him. We should ask him to make the bracha. What if he doesn't know how to make the bracha? So you can make. Why? Because if he didn't hear shofar, it's as if I didn't hear shofar. It's an unbelievable thing. Same thing, yeah. So, in next paragraph, the best thing is that person that didn't hear Baruch Kedusha Kaddish, he should be the one that's going over to the Amud. Just like we said, like I make Kiddush. Let him make Kiddush. But if he doesn't know how to make, I'll make for him Kiddush. There used to be a minhag that the Avelim used to go down and get like extra brownie points. If you're gonna do a mitzvah for someone else, you put on film, you blow shofar, they should ask him to make the bracha. If he can't, then you're gonna make the bracha. But they should make the bracha. This is what we mentioned last week in the beginning of the shir, which is minhag Sfardi. And today it's makubal in Eretz Yisrael, and most shuls to do this. They say it not mamash the last kaddish. They say it after the kaddish that goes before aleinu, and then someone says borach. Maybe someone didn't hear baruch. When they don't say it. What do you mean? No, that's what we're saying. No, that's the minhag. The minhag of making by Aleinu Baruch Hu, because maybe he slept late and he wasn't there. He didn't come 10:30 to shul. He came 12 o'clock. He rolled in. He rolled into shul 12 o'clock. So then he wants to know if they made Zman Tvila. But he missed Baruch Hu. So that's the minhag Sfardi, that to help out the other people, that they should hear Baruch Hu. A person shouldn't stop this minhag because it's to make a machloikis. Basic knesses, if there's no machloikis, that you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. That if taka someone came and they need it, so they do it. But if not to do it. As I said, that's the minhag Chabad. The minhag Chabad is not to say Baruch Hu unless someone really missed. It's okay, so say Baruch Hu. Avol, well, so that's exactly it, because the minhag L'Poil is not to say Baruch Hu at all. Because if that guy wants, he should get up and say Baruch Hu. Well, who's going to get up and do it? It's, huh? This is why we're learning it. I will call me Shahoya B'Shas Amir is Borchu. Turn the page. Reish Lamed Ches. Call me Shahoya B'Shas Amir is Borchu. B'Shama Avonu Matzibur. A person that was there, and he answered Borchu. Afshalei Berich Yoytzer Orim Matzibur. Even if he didn't end up davening the whole thing with the tzibur. Nesheherich b'Seder Atom b'Seder Zimra v'Yitztarach Lem Yoytzer Orim b'Yochid. Av b'Shen Rashay. Shahoya Lo Dalik B'Seder Zimra Kedil Spal Matzibur. Really, he should have skipped over and davened with the tzibur. Well, the point, he didn't daven with the tzibur, but he heard Borchu. And Borchu b'Shviloi. Skip the bracket. The shat shouldn't say Borchu. Hoyel v'ukvar shama v'ana achar Borchu imatzibur. He already answered Borchu shama v'ayda. He already said, so that's fine. V'adinim shama Borchu me'echad ma'oilum likris b'sefer Torah. He came a shul late. He missed Borchu, but he was there by Kriyas Torah, so he heard Borchu. V'yom ha'knisa. V'ana achar dayoy v'ena shatz choyze b'Shviloi. Shluch Tzibur doesn't go back for him. Doesn't go back because he already heard Baruch. He already heard Baruch. Avo, this individual person, when he's davening, if there's 10 people that are mezuman and they're going to listen to him to say Baruch, that's fine. Doesn't matter because there's a special thing. So some people say not to do it because it's a Torah tzibur, but this is really not such a big Torah. It's just saying, he's just saying Baruch Hashem Baruch, and they're saying Baruch Hashem Baruch L'olam V'ad. Fine. So, bottom line is, a person, they would say Baruch only if a person needs it. Why would a person need it? Why would a person need it? One or two reasons. Either he missed, he came, he wasn't even there by Kriyas HaTorah. If he was there by Kriyas HaTorah, he already heard Baruch. Or now he heard Baruch, but now he's davening the Seder at Tefillah, he's holding by Yoytzer Oir. So there's a special thing to say Baruch Hu when you finish the bracha, and you say Baruch Hu Yoytzer Oir, you say Baruch Hu. So then he could do it. Then he could do it. There's a people that they love to make other people dreya kop. They love to make other people, the story of Bisrael Salanter, that he said that there's a whole story. So he said he was a balabayas, he was a big machmir, he had tilis yadayim, a lot of water. So he said, but you're not makbid. Then Bisrael took very little water. He just took a little more than the shear. So he said, it was Yiddish Shemayim, a lot of water. In those days, they didn't have water from the sink. They had a mesharetzes. He said, with Nebuch, an old lady, she had to go schlep to the other end and get the water. So he said, he says, I'm also makbid. He says, I'm also makbid. I'm makbid not to be matriach another person. Yeah, so, but here there are people that come here all the time. It's a big mitzvah to say Baruch. So the truth is like this. Number one, if you already came by Kriyas HaTorah, you heard Baruch. So there's no point. You already heard Baruch. The only thing is, if you are davening now, and you're holding by Yoytzer Oir, so then you can do Baruch. Right. But that's the minik. The Alter Rebbe says, okay, the Alter Rebbe says, not to be mevatel that minik, because that's their minik. But it's not our minik to do. So our minik is to do only if a person came late, and he wasn't there by Kriyas HaTorah. He missed, or he's now holding by Yoytzer Oir. That's it. There wasn't the Alter Rebbe's days that there used to be Avelim. They used to want to chap more schusam, and they used to say, someone came into shul, they say a Baruch for him. No. If you already heard Baruch by Kriyas HaTorah, finished. Elam came unless again the guy's in the middle of davening and he's holding now by Yotzer. There used to be a minhag that after finishing the tefillah that they would be Podes al Shema. But it's not our minhag today. They used to like say Baruch Hu and they'd say, and then they say Kaddish, and then they would start saying Chazaras Hashat. So funny, they wanted to like say Kaddish before Chazaras Hashat. There's a whole shakal of Ataya that you Kaddish, you're not supposed to say just a Kaddish. It has to be that you said first Tchinois, Mizma Tehillim. But so that's like Minik Chabad is that by night we say a capital Tehillim, Shira Malas, and then we say Kaddish, and then we say Baruch Hu. And the Welt, they don't say, they just say Baruch Hu. Right.
Only Ashkenaz.
No.
Only Ashkenaz does that.
Right.
They say Burachem.
Why are they not saying Kaddish? Why are they not saying Kaddish? Because they didn't say a capital Tehillim. That's the reason we say capital Tehillim. Say capital Tehillim, so then you could say Kaddish. Right. Because we learned the Rosh Psukim, Kaddish Rabbanon, the Rosh Psukim, right? Okay. So anyway, but so they had some minhag. They used to say Podes al Shema, then they say Kaddish, and say anyway. We don't do it today. Kloisim shleisham barchim skapsons the pesach bezekneset savein shpois sham dem shkol kilkul shadai mixes a kol mispalim beileven name also lava knega mispalim kin tzarich lezobaze used to make a big balagan and shul. They used to do anyway. We don't do it today. Okay, so again to summarize what we have, we have here machlokas rishonim. In order to say a davar shebegedusha, first opinion says you need to have 6 people that didn't daven yet. Second says no, as long as 10 people are here. Even if one person wants to say Kaddish, Baruch Hu, Kedusha, it's no problem. As I said last week, that there's those that say that besides being Machmer for the other Shita says it's also, there's also Tircha de Tzibura. Pasha Tircha de Tzibura. Like I said last week, you come here, there's a Kiddush. People want to wash, want to talk. Person got up 7 o'clock. He got up 7 o'clock. It get learned a shtickle. He went to mikveh. He came at Gedaven. He's already hungry. He's up already 5 hours. Someone rolls in, and now he's saying Kaddish. People not interested. They're not interested. So, okay, that. Right. So that's totally in this machloikus. We'll talk about this. Right. This is also totally in the same thing. This is the next sif. Not next sif, for one afterwards, whatever. Again, sif hey. Shafil yochid shpal nas ma'ala shlosham kedush yochel lefnei ateva v'lachas spal kol atfila b'shvil kedusham. Even though we said that we pass we could do like that, he's allowed to say Shemana Esrei, even though there's only one person. Okay, fine, but he doesn't do a quiet Shemana Esrei. L'chol hadei is a quiet Shemana Esrei and then a loud Shemana Esrei is only if you really have a minyan, 6 people in daven. That's the regular minyan that they daven malachash, and then there's a shliach tzibur. If it's less than shisha, no, I feel like shots of Moisim Shalai Spalla Dain. Elias Cholmiad Bekol Rom. Shere Yikra Gavona Bishvila Kedusha. You should say Bekol Rom. At times, Eloyim Bekol Rom ad Allah Kela Kodesh. Velo Yoisesh. Like Tir Lashmi Kel Betvilose. Chazal said you're allowed to say, but really you shouldn't be mashmiya kol b'tfilah. Many reasons. Chazal said you shouldn't. Shemona Esrei is supposed to be. We spoke about this. Arizal was very makpid in it because it's a lishtov of the goof of the malka. The Eid is so like it's quiet. So really, it's the Chazal said only Shliach Tzibur. The whole idea is that the people should hear. So you have to say it loud. Is there any Shliach Tzibur? But this guy is not a Shliach Tzibur. He's doing it for himself in order to be able to say Kedusha, Kedusha. So that's what that's the meaning of a Heicha Shemona Esrei. That a Heicha Shemona Esrei is really, it's not really Chazoras Hashatz. It doesn't have the same gather of Chazoras Hashatz. Chazoras Hashatz is that you have a Lachash, then there's a Shliach Tzibur. A Heicha Shemona Esrei is not a shorter version of Chazoras Hashatz. It's not a shortcut for Chazoras Hashatz. People do it because there's a tzoyrech to do it, but that's not really what Chazoras Hashatz is all about. Elamai, by doing a Heicha Shemona Esrei, you could do Kedusha. You get to do Kedusha. But it's not really that you're not being Mekayim mitzvahs Chazal to do a Shliach Tzibur. Huh? Right, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. So they had no choice. They didn't have a choice. What can you do? Better this than that. Exactly. It came late. So he says, so if he's going to start davening now, by the time he's going to get to Shemona Esrei, there won't be 10 people still in the room. See, he won't be saying a big deal, they said. And then he's not going to do another tefillah. He's just going to do first Shemona Esrei, and then he's going to do Birchas Krishma and Krishma.
With the tzibur is
a yochid. We're talking about he came to shul 12 o'clock. He rolled in as the herring is being brought to the table and the schnapps. He rolled in. But he sees, based on how much herring and kichlach there is, that in 20 minutes it's just like ois kichlach and ois herring, and will be ois, no more people are going to be there. But for him, from Baruch Shamar, Mahoidu Vatkush, Baruch Shamar till Shemona Esrei, take him more time. It'll take him 40 minutes. So by the time he's going to get to Shemona Esrei, there won't be a minyan in the shul. So that's his opinion says. So let him make a Heicha Shemona Esrei, and then say Birchas Krishma and Krishma. And he's going to lose the mile of Gula L'Tfila to be Semach Gula L'Tfila. He said, oh, because he has a purpose over here. To say Kedusha Basara. Ein local bezal chatchila is Paul can say that this Gula L'Tfila yimi asara v'sekneses yam Kedusha shel hafsek ben Gula L'Tfila mishum Kedusha. Chatchila you shouldn't do it. Chatchila person shouldn't do it. You should have him regular. Listen, you didn't get to do like you said. You wanted your conscience to be good. Okay, so your conscience will be good. The next time you'll get up in time and you come to shul. Right, as we'll say in soon, because I might have not, but not in Chabad so much, because Chabad doesn't make a hefsek begula l'tefillah by night too. The minig of the Welt that says Baruch Hashem lo'elam b'chulu, so they're anyway not doing smichas gula l'tefillah by night. So but Chabad is doing smichas gula l'tefillah also by night. Right. And originally the Chayda they didn't do it because they wanted to do smichas gula l'tefillah. What do you mean? If they davened, so they davened, whatever. But they didn't say kaddish because they didn't want to say a hefsek between gula l'tefillah. Exactly. 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 Right. Right. Also, l'shliach tzibur la'achal hafsim gul l'tfilah shachris oy b'kri shema v'chasek l'lifris l'shema. Loisim shabol b'sakneses l'achar shoma ono akol kadosh u'borchu v'ischu korashash l'birches yoytzer oyer. If you're davening, right, and you started already yoytzer oyer, and someone comes in through the door, so you're not allowed to make a hefsek and say borchu for him. Ramadan lo yischil yichoyzer me borchu pam shenish b'shul oysei shabol la'achar shoma kol borchu. Say that they say Baruch and they didn't start Yotzer Oyer, and a few people walked in. They can say Baruch a second time. Aval Bengula Tefillah Shal Arvis Mutar Lahafsik. If it's Bengula Tefillah by Arvis, you could be mafsik to say again Baruch for people that just walked in. Why? Like you said, Shari Balais and mafsik and Bengula Tefillah B'Psukim. Vik Hadish. Tefillah Arvis. So if you want to stop and make another hefsek to Baruch to do a favor for the people that miss Baruch, it's not terrible. Right, that's the minhag Sfardi that they say at the end and Gendik, and anyone that came late. Right, that's what most people do. That's wrong. Right. Yesh mishoyna. Shim mispal do tzibur basic nesses or bot tzibur acher lachzer l'spal can say that tefillah tzibur sheyaver echem lifnei teva loitz achem dechvosum dvarim shebek kedusha ein l'shatz l'shein lama the mokum shamad arishin im rishonim avadayim basic nesses. It's a funny minhag. I didn't see anyone do it today. And in a minhag factory, in a minion factory, that you shouldn't have the shlich tzibur, the second minion, standing exactly in the mokum of the first. Why? Ki zeh gnai l'rishonim ki ilu lo yotzu yedei chevosum b'rishonim. Once the first people left, it's not a problem. Yeah, exactly. Lando, they're not waiting for the Rishonim to leave. That's it. The Galas Kaddish is there. They have Yored Lufnei Teva. Like, okay, amazing. Oh yeah, Rebecca used to have it. He had Yored Lufnei Teva. Oh yeah, interesting. Oh, interesting. Sagte weiter. Ve'im ein shliach tzibur lacharonim. But if the second minion doesn't have shlich tzibur, yochel afilu shlich tzibur rishon leiluf nateva shenis leitzim nechavasim, because that minig is not so strong. The dvarim shevkedusha v'yachalach zeh l'spalim kol tefillas chayv shvil kedusha, avloi tefillas lachash, avloi yishtabach b'chas krishma shekulam b'kiyim v'chalachem barach la'atzma. If they need about tefillah, so tefillas lachash you're not allowed to say, and to say lachas krishma anyway, we don't do it. Okay. Another interesting minhag that the Alter Rebbe brings, which is very negei halacha, very negei, because we don't have hilchas kriyas Torah from the Alter Rebbe, and he mentions in passing a very important thing that ends up being quite relevant. The first minion used the Sefer Torah. Now there's a second minion. שהוא משום פגום של ספר תורה, ששם היומר שמוצו פסול בספר תורה ראשון, בני כך יציר ספר תורה שני. אף אם ספר תורה א' עצמאי, בכל מקום הראשונים הם מכירים מויסה, ושם היומר של ספר תורה אחת שיוצאים משום פסול שנמצא בראשון. Wow. That's a very interesting minhag. According to that minhag, when we had, for example, for a while, we had two shachris, we had two. So according to that minion, you can't. The second one can take out the Torah, because if they'll take another second Sefer Torah, people are going to say the first apostle, and if they're going to say the first one, people are not going to realize. They're going to think they took out a different one. That was this minhag. Avu min adin. No, so they should go in a different room. Should daven in a different room. Avu min adin ain't shum isur bedavar. The Alter Rebbe says min adin there's no isur she'eloch shlapkam sherishin. The minadin, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. Hello, when is there minadin? There is such a thing. When? בלי הפסק איש בינתיים, כמו שהסבר בסם קוף ממדל. Actually, over there, the Mishnah Berurah brings a lot of opinions, but the Alter Rebbe is sort of the most makel. It says the only problem is if you have the same Sefer Torah and there's nothing in between. So, for example, if you have Chosan Torah and Chosan Bereshis, and you want to give it to the same person, and you're using the same Sefer Torah, and you're rolling it up. I'm sorry. No. If you use Sefer Torah, it would be not a problem. You bring a separate Torah. I'm sorry. No. You bring a separate Torah, which is Chosan Torah, Moshe Chosan Bereshis. You give it to the same person. So then it's a pagam, because they'll think that why did they have to bring out a second Torah and they didn't roll them? Because the first one was possible. But if there's even one person got an aliyah in between, if you got shlishi in Bezois Bracha, you can get Chosan Torah. It's not a problem. Same minion even. Right. Kol skin kan, shom sikin harbe, v'gam ot tivaracha, shvavad ein lochish l'klum. But anyway, the Ma'aseh Alter Rebbe, Bala Lamed v'nim tzalomed. The Alter Rebbe holds, because there's a lot of shittas in this. When are you choishish l'pagam misharishin? Alter Rebbe holds is when you take out a second Sefer Torah and one person gets the last aliyah and the first aliyah. The last aliyah, which is probably Shvi, maybe also Maftir, maybe both. The Alter Rebbe is not going into the details here. So whatever's considered the last of the first, and then the first, that you're not allowed to do. 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 Oh shit, that's the Shem 7. Oh, that's what he says that. He's not talking about this. He was talking about that they had this far-fetched minig. They had this far-fetched minig that they didn't daven in the same room and didn't take out a Sefer Torah in the same room because they said it looks like a pagam in the first minyan and a pagam in the first Sefer Torah. Alter Rebbe says that you don't have to be choshish for this. Right, it is a pagam. It is a pagam. It's not. Right. Pagam, yeah, sure.
Some schools
Yeah. Wow. They just need it. They sell the kibbutz to hold the Torah. Yeah. Okay, let's finish off. Summa. So he's Yochel Ifritz Hashma, which is the Beicha Ma'odis. I feel it was Mansha Polis, or Mavaragam Beyotza Ma'odis, Loitzacher in the Chavosan. Even the old minig that everyone would sit quietly and the Shlich Tzibur used to say loud the brachas and everyone would listen. But we don't do that today. But even in that minig, nay, it's someone could do it. Nay, Shagam, Hu Chai Beicha Yotza Ma'odis, Kamay Acher Mapikchem, Lefi, Shunene B'Ma'odis. How is he nene with the Ma'odis, even on Rahman al-Atzlan, he doesn't have, because they could show him the way. He could. That's what he's saying. So he's saying, he's thanking Hashem for the light, but he can't see the light. So the answer is because when the other people see the light, so they show him the way. So in Mela, he's nehena from the light. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
You know the davening by now. So that one of the deep.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. I know.
And he went to school to learn to be a lawyer.
Everything Braille. Wow.
He was in charge of the library of blind in Jerusalem and Portugal. He was in charge.
Okay, the lesson we have to learn from this is that sometimes there are tzaddikim that they see the way. So say, okay, he sees, I don't see. But Klal Yisrael is nen, that they have the Eine Ha'eda, there's Eine Ha'eda, the tzaddikim they see. So we have to hold their hands, and they'll show us a saderech, a shenelech ba, a ma'aser sheyasu. And Mela will also be nene from the Eib shall help from Taka, and this year, should Taka be a Taka, and Ur Chodesh, should be Zeichel B'is Mashiach Tzedkeinu. Okay. Bench is great.